and thanks for joining me for this beautiful Mother's Day fourfold card. Mother's Day is a great time of year where there's a lot of card making, a lot of gift giving and everything else, and I wanted to make something very special this year for that. And I thought, what a great way with a very, very intricate card, but yet it's super easy to make. Obviously, with this collection, I did use the Abigail Collection from our store. It is a beautiful collection that you can do so many things with. Very vintage, kind of shabby chic feel, but it does have such great elements in it that Mary Fran has created for us all that makes it so easy to create. So with this card, I will show you a video at the end for those of you that are interested as a tutorial portion. That'll give you all the sizes and how I made things and everything else, so that way you can easily make this at home. There's nothing special to this in terms of you don't need some sort of form or anything. I show you how to make the entire thing. So this card, obviously the front page here, you can see the lovely flower. Mary Fran does such great backs, not to mention that the elements, like look at this tag. This tag I've done nothing to. It says always beautiful. I've done nothing to it. I simply resized it, print it, and cut it. It was super, super easy. And what a very nice message for the front of this. This lock here, again, the locket comes in the kit as a separate element. I just, again, resized it, cut it out, and same thing with this flower here. Put both of these up on some foam dots, as well as this tag, just to give it a little bit of dimension. On the inside panel here, again, beautiful paper with the border down the side, gorgeous floral. The rest of the paper is just, as you can see, kind of a whitish matting-like look to it. And this love sentiment is actually a digital stamp that you get in the little bits of the Abigail Collection. And I actually placed that on there before I printed this paper, so that way it retains on there. And again, so very easy to use. Inside here, these square tags, again, are made for you. I've done nothing. I just simply resized and printed. And I thought it would be nice. Here we go. Here's another one on the inside to cover the inside. I've got a little flap in there so that it folds over nicely. And then a great journaling area inside. How I did this journaling area is this journal tag is an element. And then I used a floral background paper, placed it onto that, printed it as one, and then placed it in there. So beautiful little area. On page 2 here, this seed packet, like, can you get more vintage looking than that? That is just fabulous. I thought it really needed a big standout on a big page. And same thing, the background paper is all one paper. I simply resized it, excuse me, resized it, print it, and cut it out. And there we go. I just simply adhered that down with glue. On the full open here, let's just make sure I'm in frame. The full open here on page 3, again, beautiful floral background paper. Actually, the same floral as this grayish one here, but just in a different color. And that's the great thing. Mary Fran gives us lots of colors of the same formatted paper, so that way you can choose the color palette you want to work with. And in here, this whole thing, like, let's just minus out the butterflies and the locket for 1 second here. This whole cluster comes to you in the kit. And on this cluster, there is a butterfly under here and there is a locket under here. I just wanted to enhance those, so I printed out separate elements, put them up on foam dots just to give it some real dimension. And I really liked how it turned out. I thought it turned out really well. And lastly, the thoughts of you. This is a journal card that comes to you. Again, just resized it, print it, and cut it. And this corner cluster as well. That comes to you in the kit. So I just simply adhered that with glue, and there you have it. What a gorgeous card. So this gives you all the area to write your sentiments, as well as in this one in here. It gives your mom something very, very special. And on the back of it, again, there is our pink used from the solids, so that way everything, you can see how the pinks coordinate 100% perfectly, rather than having to worry about, oh, do I have that certain tone of pink in my cardstock? Many times we don't. So that is what is great about the solids that come in each of our collections, is you can do this with it. So there is the card. That is it. The whole thing, I thought, turned out so well. And really, for an afternoon's worth of work, you know, our mothers are worth it. So let's take the step this year, make something great for them, make something special. They know how much you care about them. Stay tuned now for the tutorial part where I'll show you exactly all the dimensions of everything and how to put it together so that way you can make this yourself at home. Thanks again. Hi, and thank you for joining for our tutorial part of this video. I wanted to show you how I made the actual form for the card so that way you can make it at home yourself. So because of paper sizes are limited to either 8.5 by 11 or A4 size, this card is larger than that and we're going to need to join it together. So what I've done is I've actually, as you can see, printed both sides, and I've used the solids pink paper because I wanted that pink background and stuff like that. And again, using the solids is so awesome because it is perfectly color matched. The pink of this is going to perfectly color match the other pinks that are in the card for some of the elements and everything else that you saw. So what we do here is this piece here, panel 1, is 6.5 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall. This panel here is 7 3/4 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall. And all that I did is I actually printed 2 of them, because you can see how the paste didn't exactly work out 100%. I'll trim that later. But I just actually pasted 2 of them together, printed this each page twice, pasted the 2 together, off you go. Now you've got actually quite a nice thick cardstock in terms of using it for your card. It's going to make a nice thick card. Okay? Now, in order to get it to match up so that you saw in the original portion when I showed you the full card, how this, folds over like this, and then this folds over like this, and so on and so forth. We do have to cut out some areas, and we do have to join this together. So when you're doing this, when you have this piece here, you want to score this at 2 3/4 inches, and then also at 1/4 of an inch, because this 1/4 of an inch is going to be our gluing strip where we glue the card together here, where it's going to bend together. Okay. Lastly, in order to get because the cards are a little different size on the top, we want to score this at 5 inches from the bottom. Okay. So go 5 inches from here, score that, and that where you see the little X's, that's going to get cut off. Okay? Same thing with this piece. After we've scored the entire thing at 5 inches, we want to also score it at 4 1/4 inches because the front is much smaller than the panels 2 and 3 here. So we're going to cut this whole section out of this piece, just this section out of this piece, and as well on this one, we have to score it at 5 inches up in order to cut that piece out. Okay? The only other score line on panel 2, this one actually is scored at 3.5 inches. And that's the only other score line you have here in order to make it. This one actually has to fold this way. Let's just fold this real quick here. Okay, because that's how it's going to end up going. Hang on, I folded it the wrong way. There we go. So that's how that's going to end up going, right? Is we want that in there so that as this all folds up together, this is going to get folded onto here and we'll fold this back and so on and so forth. Okay? Makes some sense? Hopefully that makes enough sense for you, and hopefully, if not, leave me a comment down below and I can certainly walk you through it with those dimensions. So now that I've shown you how to make the actual form, the pink form to do this with, I wanted to give you some sizes here so you know what size of background paper to put in here and everything else. I think it's probably fairly explanatory because you can just size it because you already know what size your panels are, but just in case, this will make it a little bit easier. This front piece is 2.5 inches by 4 inches, okay? So your background paper is 2.5 by 4 inches, and that is the same on this side here, is 2.5 by 4. This little tag, I resized down to 2 1/4 inches, and this should be the same thing, by 2 1/4 inches. So those are 2 1/4 inch square. Make it easy for you. On pages 2 and 3 here, let's just open this right up. Pages 2 and 3, the background papers are 3 1/4 wide by 4 3/4 tall. So again, 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. Sorry, let me get that measurement again. Sorry, 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, and that's for both of these background papers here. Okay, and then just resize again. We're resizing our elements in order to fit onto to that size of paper. And the last page here, this guy here is 4 inches wide, and it is 5 1/4 inches tall. Okay, so that gives you the measurements, which is very easy to do, because once you have that, well, then you can easily resize your elements in order to fit appropriately on there. Thanks again. I hope you've enjoyed our video. Before you leave, I hope that you'll go down to the right-hand corner of our screen here and click on our Nitwit Collections logo, which will subscribe you to our YouTube channel so you'll be made aware of whenever new videos are come out, whether that be projects, new kits that we release, and we show you those in video format so you can see each and every individual item in background paper. As well, please give me the thumbs up if you like the video. Leave us a comment. Let us know what your thoughts are on it. Let us know if you're going to make one. And lastly, please take a trip on over to our store. This Abigail collection is well worth it. If you haven't purchased this kit yet, please do, because this is one of those beautiful kits that you'll get so much use out of. This is only a very, very small smattering of what is actually in that kit, and we know you'll love working with it. Thanks again, and I hope you have a creative day.